skipping to the other side of that, going down to Columbia, I've seen a lot of negativity, and I understand it. I mean, your team's not where you want to be. You're getting blown out by Georgia and Texas A&M, but if we're looking at it realistically, those are two of the better teams, not only in the SEC, but the entire country, and your season's not lost yet. I mean, you got several winnable games here. Trying to get you to a bowl game, you're going to need to pull an upset or two. And like I said on a previous show, I mean, this matchup with Florida, now it looks like maybe even Anthony Richardson may miss the game. How is Emory Jones going to respond to, if he is the starting quarterback for the Gators, being benched, now being thrust in the lineup? Where's he at? Because confidence has always been an issue for him. He's turning the ball over left and right this season for the Gators. South Carolina, that's one thing. I believe Jalen Simpson leads the SEC in interceptions. So the defense certainly could force some turnovers. That will keep them in the game. And that is something that Shane Beamer kind of hit on. This is not unique to this week by any means, but he's been expressing this all season, trying to get the fans to commit to coming to the games, be a difference. And like I said, I know things are not where you want it right now in Columbia, but hey, all it's going to take is a win right here against Florida, turn that tide around, get you another conference win. And Shane Beamer is also asked about recruiting, and I just think it's funny, the 180 you get from Dan Mullen to Shane Beamer. So let's kick it over to him.
Going to need a great environment in there on Saturday night. We've played in some hostile environments on the road this season ourselves. When the first SEC away game and really every SEC away game that we've played. That's what you expect in the SEC. We've played in front of hostile, loud, packed, sold-out stadiums every week that we've been on the road this year in the SEC. And we will need that from our fans on Saturday night as well. And we know what a great fan base we have here, and we've got 3 out of our last 4 games at home, 2 SEC games, and our in-state rival. Saturday night, primetime television. If you can't get excited for that, I can't help you guys. And it's going to be an unbelievable environment, an unbelievable atmosphere. Our players are practicing their butts off right now, and we certainly appreciate our fan base and the home field advantage that they create in Williams-Brice Stadium. Our guys are excited, can't wait to get out there on Saturday night. Our coaches can't wait to get out there on Saturday night, and I hope our fans can't wait to get out there on Saturday night and we can have a packed Williams-Brice Stadium, because that's what these young men in this program deserve.
Shane, you touched on recruiting and being able to get it back out on the road. I mean, just obviously it changes a little bit as a head coach with what you're doing, but I guess what do you see as your philosophy as being a head coach and recruiting, balancing the calendar of it all in season, out of season, and how do you kind of take to
it? Good question. I have a feeling I might get one of those. No, I mean, it's every day. I think maybe in the old days you could say, not do much, focus on your football team, and then all of a sudden you get out on the road recruiting in December and January, and that's kind of when you start recruiting, and that's not the way it is. I mean, you've got to do it 365 days a year. I mean, I was, quote unquote, I kidded somebody the other night. Sometimes to me the bye weeks in college football are busier than the game weeks, because last week we practiced on Monday morning and I was on a plane and out recruiting Monday afternoon. We practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was gone all day Thursday, all day Friday, got back late Friday night. Saturday was off, but I think during the day on Saturday, I spent a lot of the afternoon with the family and being a fan like you guys, but talked to a lot of recruits on the phone as well. So it's every day, whether it be texting, FaceTiming, talking to high school coaches. It's nonstop. And certainly as the head coach, I've got to set the direction. I've got to set the example, for everyone. So we spend a lot of time on it. I'd probably I don't know how much the staff liked me back in January and February and March, because we were up here pretty much every night till late, just doing virtual visits and Zoom calls and things like that with recruits. But it's great, and you've got Kirby said it after his game the other day, just about recruiting and the importance of it. And I learned that from him in my 2 years in Athens. Not that I didn't know it already. Going back to Philip Fulmer at the University of Tennessee and the importance he put on recruiting when I was a graduate assistant there, and seeing that from him. And you got to have great players, and we've got a great place to recruit to here at South Carolina, and it was exciting to be able to get on the road last week and talk to high school coaches about that.
One other reason this game is so important, I don't buy into the fact that any recruit is going to pick a school because of one football game, and I'm not suggesting that that's going to happen with South Carolina and Florida, but as I'm sitting here recording this, South Carolina's got the number 21 recruiting class in the country. Florida's got number 22. So the Gamecocks are out. Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks are out recruiting Dan Mullen and the Gators in year one, where year 4 down there in Gainesville, there's a lot of momentum that can be gained on the recruiting trail, aside from the SEC standings and righting the ship of the season there for the Gamecocks. A lot to be gained, I think, from this matchup. You better believe the Gamecocks are going to be selling to recruits the fact that they are past Florida in year 4 if they can take them down here Saturday night, Williams-Brice. And a lot of these games historically have been very, very close between these two. So I know South Carolina may seem like they're down, don't know who the quarterback is, but Florida's in a rut right now. They just got whooped by the Georgia Bulldogs. Something basically the rest of the country knows all about. Anybody that's faced Georgia knows all about getting whooped by the Bulldogs. But this is a real opportunity, I think, for South Carolina. It's got to start, of course, with this offense. And that's something Shane Beamer also tackled, asked about the quarterback situation here on the SEC teleconference. And then we also had Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator. I know he's not a popular name. He met with the media here on Wednesday as well. We're going to kick over to his comments here.
Hey, Shane, how did Zeb look at practice today, and is you getting closer to naming a starter for Saturday?
I'm not going to name a starter before Saturday. I don't know if that gives us any benefit at all. Zeb looked good in practice today, continues to progress, but I just don't see any advantage really in this situation. We'll continue to compete and continue to see how these guys progress during the week. And like I've said all along, we've got confidence in all of our quarterbacks, whether it's Zeb, whether it's Jason, whether it's the carry-on Joyner, whether it's Connor Jordan, whoever's out there. Heck, we used Omega Blake yesterday to simulate Emory Jones, and he looked pretty good playing quarterback. But Zeb looked good.
Marcus, we hear all the time, sometimes when a guy comes from the NFL here, complex. And, obviously when you look at it, and Coach Beamer talked about this past weekend, it's easy to look at it and say, okay, it's because it's a pro system. But what are some of the things that does make it a challenge maybe, but when you do bring a pro-style offense in? And I know they used a pro style a little bit last year with Bobo, but some of the challenges for some of these players.
Trying to answer this. I hate listening to coaches that talk and give you these same, I'm trying to give you an honest answer. There's nothing that we're doing, especially from a run game standpoint, I've coached at the FCS level. We did the same thing. My dad was a high school coach. He did the same thing. It's basic football. It's block the guy you're supposed to block, teach the guy how to block the guy that he's supposed to block when you're looking at it from my shoes. So I don't think it's complex by any stretch of the imagination. I think, where I have to take a look at myself is not the complexity, but what I'm asking them to do. Like, okay, you're a certain athletic skill set or body type. Maybe you're not I'm going to make this up, you're not a wide zone team. Maybe you're a tight zone team, or maybe you're a gap scheme team. And so that's what we, each week we just keep trying to find, like, what is the run that's going to allow us to, take a breath and have some success. But we are working tirelessly at it. But I really don't think it's complexity. I think it's just, we have to just keep plugging away, and I know that makes you want to gouge your eyes out when you hear that, but we just have to keep plugging away and have to keep working, and eventually it'll click and we'll have some success.
So I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, but you can kind of hear it there from Marcus Satterfield. And, when I heard him say what he's saying here, the offense not too complex, just they're still trying to learn the players. It's exactly the same message that you're getting from Brian Harsin down there at Auburn. And the irony is not lost on me, the fact that Harsin hired Mike Bobo. And obviously you're getting a veteran. Mike Bobo, been in the SEC, a decade plus as a coach. He's played in the SEC. and he hired Derek Mason. So we got Brian Harsin, who in his first year in the SEC, what did he do? He went out and got him 2 coordinators that know the league and know the opponents they're going to be facing on a weekly basis. Whereas in Columbia, they're faced the same challenges, but obviously they're not meeting them. And it is what it is. I mean, we can, rehash what happened in the offseason. I'm not trying to do that, but this is the danger you get when you hire a first-year head coach and an offensive coordinator that, he's got, FCS experience and some minimal NFL experience, but just not ready for this type of football. Not at the highest level of college football. That's what we're seeing. And that, I appreciate the fact that Satterfield's trying to be as transparent as possible here, but it's clear he's struggling to do what they're doing on the plains, and it's showcasing itself on the field. But, hey, they've had a couple weeks to prepare. They're coming off a bye. Maybe they correct the ship here against a Florida team that's banged up. And, hell, if they do it, a lot of these questions go away overnight. So that's going to be the challenge this week in Columbia.